Yeah, so this is Allison's post in Yammer. And she, so this was like last week or 2 weeks ago now?
This was last week, three
Just last
days,
week.
Wednesday through Friday.
Oh my, a 3 day shoot.
Hmm.
And she found this on Staff Me Up. And actually, they contacted her because she had her short resume that she made through A List up there. And they're like, hey, you sound great. We have a shoot that's coming through. And is a little MTV shoot, corporate video, right? Is that correct? Am I
Well,
getting this right?
and this was no, my very first PA job was the MTV one. This one
Oh,
was Chris Gearhart. Yeah, and it was just a corporate.
oh.
When I applied, the description was just corporate PA needed.
Corporate
So
PA needed.
yeah.
See, you guys are like, you guys might be poo pooing corporate videos until you show up and you're like, and you find out that the DP is the DP for the TV show on Netflix. No, not that. It's not Netflix, but
On
it's
Fox
on
Empire.
Fox.
Yeah. Hmm.
Empire. The DP for Empire is shooting this thing. And he the one that hired you too?
He is. And it was funny because it was just the job came out of me being up late at night because the posting came up
Yeah.
my time, Eastern Standard, almost, I think after midnight. And I
Yeah.
was just on my phone in bed and I got an email from Staff Me Up like, oh, something, location near you. So I
Yeah.
applied and
Yeah.
went to bed. And then when I woke up, I had a text from Chris saying, I'd like to call you and talk to you. So it happened really fast.
Oh,
Um,
that's so awesome.
but yeah, it was really cool. And I was, and again, I didn't know who Chris was. Like I
Yeah.
tried IMDbing him, but there was like four Chris Gearharts and I didn't know who it was. And so I didn't know until I was on set that he was the DP for Empire.
Yeah, you're like, it can't be that guy. It's got to be
Yeah.
somebody
Well,
else.
and his son is an animator. So I found his son and he's got the same name and he's an animator and he worked on the Lego movie. So like I didn't know who I was looking at, but
Yeah, very good. So she did many things right. She got her resume out there. She's responded to a posting immediately, you guys, which is super important because they just want to fill that position with the best
mhm.
person as fast as they can. She did her research, very good. So when she showed up on set, she knew some stuff already. Yeah, and I bet you did more than that. What else did you do that made you stand out on this shoot?
Well, the very first day it was just me and him because it was originally
Mm-hmm.
the posting was just for Thursday, Friday. And then when he talked to me, he said, actually, because we talked on the Tuesday,
Uh-huh.
and he asked if I was available the next day because the client decided they might need to start earlier. Um, so the second camera op and the sound op were not able to come until Thursday. So it was just me and him. And I gotta say, I exuded more confidence than I had on the inside because he just immediately was like unloading the truck, and because the sound guy wasn't there, he had me run the boom that first day, and he just handed me the bag and he's like, can you put this together? And so I was honest. I did the best I could. Like I could figure out where batteries went and things like that, but I didn't want to do it wrong. And so I was just honest and like joked about it. I said, so I've run boom before, but it was always handed to me pre-assembled. Can you show me how to do this?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so just that kind of stuff. But
And then he
anything,
showed you everything.
and then he showed me, and that was the biggest thing is he was just so chill.
Yeah,
Like he made me feel comfortable.
yeah,
And I don't know that everybody is like that because like when the other crew came the next 2 days, they didn't have the same kind of vibe. They were nice, but it wasn't like a
yeah,
teachable vibe. Like this guy,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I was lucky to be with him because he felt like he was willing to teach me things. And so it was just kind of like kismet. Thank you, universe, for me putting me with this guy who was
Yes.
fine with teaching me things. So
Yeah. And also the situation was where he could take the time to teach you things. Yeah.
yeah. I thanked him at the end of the shoot for everything. And because he said, he's like, it's so stressful on Empire. He's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I am
Yeah.
stressed all the time on that show. And
Yeah.
because I said to him, I kept saying chill. I'm like, you're so chill, your
Yeah.
vibe is so easygoing. And he's like,
Yeah.
yeah, he's like, if you met me on Empire, I don't know if you'd get the same vibe from me. So it
Yeah.
was good that it was a small shoot that he was able to just be relaxed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Always. Okay. And you were saying something more about the shoot. I asked you about the sound, and then
Oh, yeah. So all of my PA work prior has been, free, like local indie, small crew, not necessarily professionals,
yeah.
work. And so just being around him, he had me do G&E work that I had never done before. So he taught me how to set up a C-stand. Um, I mean, I was using context clues. So luckily, when we were unloading the truck, he's like, "Okay, grab the C-stands," and he pointed to them. Like I with research prior to it, I knew, what it looked like. But when he wanted me to set it up, he explained to me, and some of you might already know this, but he explained to me how, you need the knob to be on the right side. So if it starts to go down, it can
Yeah.
tighten as it falls, and like little things that I didn't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ran the sound. And then he had me set up lights and, put gels and silks on it, on the stand. And,
Awesome.
just running. He taught me, like, because he didn't have, an AC. He let me touch the camera. He had me change the mags. He had me change the batteries. He even, at the last day, he actually let me put a lens on. But I was, fetching lenses for him and things like that. He taught me the
Wow.
different positionings of the Apple boxes, which I didn't even know was a thing. So now I know that.
Did she show you a pancake? Did you have a pancake?
Yeah, he had all four of them. And actually, it's funny that you say that because I didn't know that's what it was called. And I mean, because I'm fresh, you guys, this is only my
Yeah.
second PA gig. And so
Yeah.
um, he looks at me and he goes, "Can you fetch me the pancake?" And, we all have the masks on and I don't really
Yeah.
have a poker face. So in my eyes, you could just see that I had no idea what he was asking. And he's like, "The little apple box." I was like, "Okay, I got that. Thank you."
Oh, it's so great.
Yeah. But it was
Did
just,
yeah.
I didn't even know. And like I said, if I just said, "What is that?" Oh, the stinger. When we were setting up the the C
Yeah.
stand, he goes, because the outlet was very far away. He's like, "You know what, you're gonna have to grab a stinger."
Yeah.
Context clues. It took me a second to just think extension cord. But again, he looks at me and goes, "Extension cord."
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Okay.
And
But
now you know it. Now you got it. No better
now I
way
know
to
it.
learn it. There's no, yeah, you guys, yeah, don't worry about if you don't come in knowing all these terms, you know. A lot of these are in
Right.
the training. You might not be to that part yet, but it doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
great attitude is all that they're really looking for. Somebody that's able to solve problems, figure things out, eager attitude, pleasant to be around. That's all they want.
It
So,
is. Well, that's he actually. So one time, we had some downtime, and the client, I guess, has a 16-year-old daughter who is interested in this, and so he was asking Chris, "Well, how do you get into this? If you ever need help on set, I know she'd love to help. XYZ." And so he asked Chris, "Well, what do you look for?" And well, he said, "Well, someone who's cheerful and hardworking and, just, willing to go the extra mile." And he said, "That's why I hired Allison." And it was just because of purely because all he had was that cover letter from my application on Staff Me Up. But like you said, Janet, exclamation points, smiley faces, that you're
yeah,
just
yeah,
making sure that you come across that way. So,
yeah.
and it was cool to hear that from him, that's the reason he hired me. Because he's my original, I mean, I sent it to you, Janet. My resume that he hired me off of had virtually no PA work on it, but he didn't care. He just wanted somebody who's willing to work. So
Can you pull up your Staff Me Up profile? There we go. Looks great. Great picture. When you're on set, look to have somebody like, hey, I want to take a picture for my mom with your headset on so that it looks like you're on set. So that is always a good idea. Try to get a couple pictures of you with your headset, smiling your head off. But this is a great picture.
well, that one was, honestly, the reason it was chosen was purely because all my other pictures, the file sizes were too big, and I was just being lazy, and I went to the smallest filed photo I could find.
It's a great picture. It's a great
Thank you.
picture. Yeah, I'm just saying for everybody here, be collecting pictures of yourself that you can
Yeah.
use for your website or whatever. Let's see what she writes here. Ready to work. Oh, I wonder where you got that. Yeah. I'm able to work long hours while maintaining sharpness and enthusiasm. I got a great driving record and able to complete tasks quickly and efficiently. I'm ready to get things done. This just, it's so good. It's just like this person has got a great attitude. They get it. Like total get it factor. It doesn't matter that she doesn't have that much credits, does it? Everybody agree? It's just so obvious that she's going to be great to work with. That's all you need to do, you guys. Now let's look at your resume. So nice and simple. She's doing the resume just the way that we teach you how to do it. Summary of qualifications. This is the first thing they're going to look at, and all we're doing is we just want to show, hey, I'm good to work with, able to work long hours. You're writing exactly what it is that they want. Somebody that can work long hours, staying sharp, being enthusiastic, super positive, eager. She puts down her driving record. Obviously, she knows that that's important to me as a producer. Okay. Complete tasks efficiently. Yep, that's right. That's exactly what I need. She's speaking my language. She's computer savvy. Awesome. Photoshop, Lightroom. She's listing this. Own a MacBook Pro. Oh my God. How does she know that that's so important? How does she know that all of my coordinators and all my production managers own a MacBook Pro? That we all work on this? She's got that get it factor. Good with paperwork, petty cash, invoices, time cards, receipts. Now, some of the stuff she might have got in the theater world, you guys, but that's fine. Use it. You know, you've done invoices, you've done petty cash, right? From theater.
And it's true, because I have not done that on set. That is complete theater work, yeah.
Perfect. And if you've done it in your regular job, use it, This is just what we do all the time on the film set. So petty cash is petty cash, isn't it? Okay, then she's got her credits here. Well, look what she's got for set PA experience. She knows from our program that if you put down that you're keeping stuff clean, free of trash, that is like music to their ears, They're like, oh, she understands, we got to keep things organized. And I want somebody that is not above, like picking up a coffee cup that's been sitting there that could get spilled and cause a problem, or, taking somebody's plate that has eggs on it and going and throwing it away. I mean, I want somebody that's like that. And so she puts that first right away on her resume. That's total get it factor. What a great attitude. Setup crafty, responsible for cast, responsible for directing crew to set. So she's like, okay, I know the PA tasks. I've done this stuff. She's only been on 3 shoots, and but she still had the opportunity to work with Crafty, and you will. That'll be on your first shoot. You can work with Crafty. This is coming from your experience list, right? So people that are in the work study program, you've got the experience list. So you have that in your back pocket. You know what to do on set. You just look around and go, okay, that's what I should be doing. You know that these tasks will be perfect to be put on a resume. So it's so brilliant what we're doing here. So she does those things. All right, so operated the boom, recorded and notated for continuity, log shots, lenses, filters. So she's showing that she knows how to do this job of script supervisor. Now, there are times where you wouldn't, once you get more into this, if you end up going down this road and doing more script supervisor work, you're going to know when it's appropriate to list what a script supervisor does and when it's not appropriate. Once you get to the, obviously once you're doing the job, you wouldn't list how to do the job. It doesn't really make sense. You'd more list your credits. But when you're starting off and you're just working with all these different people, then it's useful to say, since you've only done it once, this is what I did when I was doing script supervising. So they're like, oh yeah, great. Well, so she's already done it once. Now they know that if you were a professional, your rate would be $600 a day and you'd have tons of credits. So it's totally okay, isn't it, guys? And then look at all the theater experience. This is awesome. So what she did is she went through our list and she said, oh, I've done that for theater. And she put it down. Awesome. Look at that. Look at all that stuff. It's the same as film work. And this is great. The fact that she's worked as a wedding photographer and videographer, she knows production. I mean, she's doing production already, right? Oh, you worked for them. Or you are a wedding. No, you worked for them. He's a wedding photographer and you
Yeah.
assisted them, right?
And I did shoot some of my own weddings too. So I was a second
Really?
shooter sometimes, and then sometimes I was the lead. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's awesome work. That's awesome, awesome experience. I got your website on here now.
Yes. Because actually Chris told me that he went to my website, even though my website is my
Really?
acting website. He told me that he went to it just to get my vibe. So I was like, well,
Oh.
okay, if they're interested in that.
Hmm.
So, because I guess obviously if you're going to hire somebody, you want to find out as much about them as possible.
So this is her updated resume after that, the corporate video shoot that she shot with this guy, Chris Gearhart. She asked me, how should I put that I worked with him? Should I say production assistant on a corporate video? I said, no, just say production assistant with the guy's name and then say what he is. Because at this point, if you just put Chris Gearhart, it's not gonna mean anything to him. They don't know him. But it's perfectly fine to put the DP of Empire. And then they're like, oh, wow. That's what we want them to do. Catfish, MTV, perfect. And then the other names. That's perfect. So this is the same. This is perfect. Very good.
So I was able to put grip and electric and camera experience like
Yeah,
specific because those two categories, everything I listed there was everything that I did with Chris on set.
that's right. So that went in the area of freelance theater director, the stuff that she hasn't done quite yet, but she knows how to do it because she's done it in theater. All right, let's look at the Yammer post again real quick. So she found this on Staff Me Up. Her resume was there on Staff Me Up. Chris called and said the job is mine if I wanted it. My cover letter seemed like it had a can-do attitude. Now, is that the cover? Is he talking about the little paragraph on Staff Me Up, or did you also
Yeah.
send it? Okay, great.
No, yeah, it's just the little blurb that you write along with your resume application.
Hello, and you didn't have a name, so all you could put was hello. I'm local to
To
Novi.
Novi. Yeah. It's
Where's
just this,
Novi?
it's
What's the
it's
middle?
it's a suburb of Detroit. So that's where the shoot was.
Oh, I'm a local to Novi. By the way, where we're shooting, I'm a local. So that's smart. That's get it factor to say that. I'm always ready to work with sharpness and enthusiasm. A hard worker, aim to make the shoot days easier on the crew by maintaining awareness and providing support wherever I can. Such get it factor. Notice, it's not about me, it's not about her. She's like, it's not about her, it's all about what they want. I've experienced lifting, packing, and unpacking equipment, assisting with cameras, and helping out with sound. I'm happy to handle whatever tasks you need. Thanks so much. All about them. Perfect. The only things you could maybe make it 2 paragraphs, but it's so good. It's so damn good. Brilliant. That's not her want to work email. This is her email to follow up after they're like, "Hey, we're interested in you possibly. Let's know a little bit more."
So he was big on coffee, and I think I
Yeah,
said this somewhere. Um,
yeah.
and it became a joke on set. Like part of my duties was tracking where his thermos of coffee was, and so he had lost it at one point, and I found it, and he said that. He joked, "You're my new favorite PA now." He's like, "You don't have to do anything else the rest of the day."
Ah, it's so great.
And so I got him, picked him up some local coffee to like, so that he could take it back to Chicago.
Yeah.
And he was like so excited about that, just so that like I stuck in his mind. And I wrote like a little thank you for him teaching me all these extra things. Um,
It's
you
so
know,
slam dunk. It's so slam dunk. Oh my gosh. So, yeah, you found some local coffee. You know he loves coffee. You gave him a little gift, and you told him some of the things that you learned from him. Right? Is that what you said? You
right.
gave him a
And
little.
he knew that. I mean, I told him I was green, and I mean, he could obviously
Yeah.
tell when I didn't know some things. But he was he always, he would ask me to get something, and then it's probably his personality. But like he wanted
Yeah.
me to lift the tripod because he was working with a red,
Yeah.
and so he wanted me to lift it and carry it, and that's heavy. And he would ask it like this:
Yeah.
"Would you be okay getting the tripod?"
Uh huh.
And I was
Aw.
like, "Well, yeah." So then I would do
Yeah.
it, and I just think there was lots of stairs between on the in the building, so I was constantly
Yeah.
going up and down because I couldn't
Yeah.
take the cart upstairs. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
constantly running back and forth.
Yeah.
And I just think seeing that or having things at the ready, like my pockets were full. Like I knew he would need the color checker. Didn't know what that
Mm-hmm.
really was until after my first day on set. But once I knew what he needed it for and knew that he would need it, I
Mm-hmm.
always had it in my pockets. I
Mm-hmm.
reminded him to do the color checker because like he'd be ready to move locations and I'd be like,
Mm-hmm.
wait. And he's like, oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
thank you.
Mm.
Because he didn't have his full crew of like ACs and stuff. So I was
Right.
trying to step in and remind him on things or like, room
Such a good
tone
job.
that first day.
Oh.
Again, he was ready to go. And because I had been on set before where they had to get room tone, I just asked, do we need room tone? And oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you. So just like
Oh.
thinking ahead or thinking what else might need to be done, um, especially because there was no other crew, was
Yes.
something that I tried to do for him.
Oh, you did such a good job. Oh yes. I'm excited. You're going to hear from all of these people. And then they had some more multiple shoot days and they had other camera guys that came in, two more camera guys that came in
One
that
more
yeah,
and a sound guy. Yeah.
and a sound guy that also shoots, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's local. He shoots reality shows and I
Mhm.
guess travels with ESPN for like the Stanley Cup playoffs and stuff. But
Mhm.
because he does live locally, he said that, he would keep me in mind for other shoots. And again, I mentioned I was an actor. So he said, oh, yeah, on camera stuff. If I've got something, I'll call you. And, we connected on
Awesome.
Facebook. So now we're like Facebook friends.
Yeah, exactly. So, how are they going to call you? As a production assistant initially. And then they also probably will know. You'll keep in touch with them. You'll be like, if you want to do more, do you want to do script supervising more? Did you enjoy that job?
I do enjoy it. I don't know if I want to go down that road altogether.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been good experience just knowing how to do it, knowing what's being looked for.
Yeah, yeah, you're 100% actor. Yeah. And you could even get into choreography too, doing that for film as well.
I mean, I do like, honestly, I liked helping the AC stuff.
Oh, you could do
And I think it's
camera.
probably because of my experience with photography and videography. That
Mm,
was where I
oh,
felt
yeah.
the most comfortable.
Oh, yeah.
Um, helping with lenses and stuff. It was fine.
Yeah,
Uh,
you could do AC work.
yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, Detroit. That's right, Detroit.
Hmm.
Detroit is a minor market. It used to be busier. You've probably heard that there was a boom period in Detroit and then it kind of subsided a little bit and they started shooting other places.
Hmm.
But the fact is that there is camera houses there, there's lighting and grip there, it's got the infrastructure now. So there's going to be definitely film shoots there. You can stay there for a while, but I know for your goal that you probably are going to want to move to a bigger market
Yeah,
and that's going to be
I
LA,
do.
right?
That's where we want to end up. Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. And how far away is Chicago?
4 hours,
4 hours.
roughly.
Okay,
It's not bad. When I have actually been applying for PA gigs in Chicago too, because I've got friends who live
yeah,
there. So I put that I
awesome.
can work as a local.
Yeah, yeah. You are going to work all the freaking time. And I really appreciate you being an example here for us because we can see this. We're like, okay, yeah, I can do a different version of this. But you guys understand this get it factor by seeing this. It's just it's very simple. It's not like this is rocket science. And we can see if we were producers, we'd be like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I'd hire her in a heartbeat.
That set that I'm doing the script supervisor for, I've also been doing a little odd jobs because it's an indie. And so I was actually driving a van because the DP was hanging his camera out the side of the van and we were doing like a drive-by shot. So I was driving and while, in between shots and he was, doing a new setup, the guy who was in the van with us, he was one of the actors, but he was just helping out, making sure the DP didn't fall out of the van. So he and I were in the van together and, just making small talk. And I said, so pre-quarantine, were you working a lot? What have you been up to? And so he said that he didn't have any representation here in Detroit, but that he had representation in Chicago, which if anybody knows and has promote talent is the representation he has. So if anybody knows anything about that, I mean, other than what he told me, I don't really know. I went to their website and stuff, which their website they seem cool. Um, but at any rate, so I just talked to him and I took down the name and he gave me his agent's name. And so I took that down and I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then the next day, I emailed him and I said, hey, I act too, and I am, we had a good vibe. So I said, would you be willing if I submitted to Promote Talent to refer me? And he responded, and I only met this guy once for the few hours that we were on set. And so then he responded back with capital letters, absolutely. He's like, you had such a great vibe and you were so professional. And because he told me, he was like, I didn't realize you didn't do crew all the time. He's like, because you just seemed to know what you were doing. He's like, I didn't know you also acted. So, that's a good reference if he can tell her how hardworking I am. But the cooler thing, besides just like a generic email, he said that he would, when I submit, to let him know, and he would personally call his agents and say, hey, look for this name coming through. I know her. She's great. So that's pretty cool, because trying to get with an agency, can be scary and tough.
So there's a phenomenon called the umbrella principle. Umbrella principle. And what that principle is that when they see you as being so great on set, as a production assistant, as a camera assistant, whatever it is, they assume, and they find out that you're also an actor, they assume that you're great doing that, you're going to be great as an actor. So that's why he didn't need to see her acting. He didn't say, like, send me your reels, send me your resume. He just said, oh, great, yeah, of course I'll refer you to my agent. Umbrella principle, guys. So when you're on set and you're working and you're doing a great job, you want to talk to everybody, because everybody's doing all sorts of things. You got the DP could be an actor, the director could be an actor, the producer could be an actor, or a dancer, or a singer. And so you just find out about them. Oh, do you mainly do producing, or do you do anything else creative in the film industry? And then they'll just tell you everything, and now you know. Oh wow. Oh, you're an actor. Who you represented with? I mean, it'll be natural conversation at that point. So then you can either talk to them on set or later. I'm actually looking for representation in Chicago. Who do you recommend? I would do it right then and there. I'd have, most conversations are better just right there in person. So that is awesome. Another benefit from being on set, you guys. They just got to see you. They just got to become endeared to you, which happens so easily on set, especially when you're just helping out people. You're making things run smoothly. You're showing that you care. You're showing that you're paying attention. I mean, that's like half the battle, is people are afraid to refer other people. They don't know if they're going to make them look bad, you know? Nobody will refer people that they have not worked with, that they haven't seen their great energy and their smile and how they think and how they operate on set. Nobody will refer anybody else. But once they've done that, then it's like, oh, open game, they'll refer you anywhere and to anything. Can you tell us about the different experience of approaching the film industry, doing it this way versus how you were doing it before?
Well, it's just, as an actor, you're just told you just gotta find auditions and go, and you pray that you actually get in the room to even be seen. And it's, they're basically making, in the acting world, judgments off your headshots and what you look like.
Yeah.
But with crew work, you have to present you, like it's your work. I mean, I know that sounds really different, but acting is all like how you're perceived as the characters or whatnot. But because crew, they're looking for help. You don't need to look a certain way or whatever. And there's only so many things you can get cast in as an actor. But crew, you can do, I mean, as long as you can have some knowledge about it, you can do anything. And so actually talking with Chris, Janet, he said, that's so smart. He's like, he's like, I can only put you in so many films because of how the films are written and what rules are in there.
What's
And you're
so
only right.
smart? What's so smart? Just so that
Um,
we.
oh, the philosophy of the whole program, of getting on sets, especially if you're an actor, getting on sets this way, working crew. Because prior to finding the program, Janet, that never even dawned on me. Not once, honest to God. And then, in what world would I have met Chris Gearhart, the DP of Empire, just going on random auditions locally?
Yeah.
I mean, never. So now there's somebody who's a pretty big name who knows me personally, not just from an audition room, where I'm in there for a few minutes and then leave and then might never hear from them again. But then I got to spend 3 days with him, and he knows about my kids. I know about his kids. He
Yeah.
knows what I do in my free time. I know what he does in his free time. I mean, that's a relationship that's built right then and there, as opposed to just trying to like submit a resume. Or submit a reel. So it's the relationships that I feel like will get you in the door more than just a random cold submission.
Well, the relationships are already getting you in the door, aren't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah. I mean, and it's like I said, I joined the program in April. So it's
Yeah.
not been very long.
No.
And that's what I was excited about, was like, oh my God, just these few crew jobs I've been on, each of them has gotten me something else or provided me another opportunity. And you can't always say that about acting,
Oh,
at least
yeah, yeah.
not in my experience. But
Can you
yeah.
say what came out of the 3 jobs that you've had so far?
Well, yeah. So this one, obviously, meeting Chris Gearhart and learning everything I know about him, and the fact that he said he would keep me in mind for on-camera stuff. When he said that to me, my mind exploded a little bit. I was
Oh,
like, "Oh my
yeah.
God, yeah!"
Wow.
And he's never seen me act, other than unless he watched something on my website.
Yeah.
Um, and then the scripty job, that was the guy with the Chicago representation. And then the first paid PA job for MTV, that I just think having that network name on my resume, I think might have helped Chris too,
Yeah.
because that first PA job was still during the height of lockdown, so I didn't see anybody. They gave me an address, and I went and I packed up equipment and I
Uh-huh.
sent
Uh-huh.
it back to California. That was the entire job. But they
Yep.
told me, they're like, we're still social distancing and
Yeah.
limiting contact, so nobody will be there when you get there. So I
Yeah.
was like,
And you got paid pretty good on that, right?
I did. It was like an hour of work, and I
Yeah.
got paid for 12 hours. So I got 200, plus they gave me mileage. And that, I mean, for an hour of work, yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
That's awesome. And that was through a posting. Is that right?
that was stepped me up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. See, postings will work, you guys, in the minor markets because they don't have people there, very simply. In the
Yeah.
major markets like LA, they're not going to do a posting because there's millions of people there and everybody's right there. But like Detroit is really good for postings. Chicago, probably too, although a lot of people know everybody in Chicago. So the doing a job posting on Staff Me Up is the last resort. If they knew anybody there, they would have hired them. Like next time that they come to Detroit, Chris is going to call you. He's not going to put another ad on Staff Me Up.
Hmm.
Right. So, yeah, that's the last resort are the job postings, which is why that's not how you build a career. You know, how you build the career is by getting on these sets like she's doing now, making these relationships that, I mean, she's going to be first call for Chris, first call for this producer, first call. Where's a producer out of, by the way?
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago. So
Yeah.
yeah, she's if she wants to now start working in Chicago, she just needs to reach out to that producer and just say, "Hey, I'm going to be in Chicago, in the next couple months," or "Hey, I'm looking at basing myself more out of Chicago." And whatever that means, we don't know. It doesn't really matter. But the producer goes, "Oh, I can call you for shoots. That's all that counts," and that's what she wants to have count. Not like she's moving her whole family to Chicago, and they
Hmm.
don't care. They don't care. They don't want to know all of your actual logistics. They just want to know, are you available for work? If I call you, can you be there tomorrow? That's all that they want to know. And you
Hmm.
don't ever want to, by the way, say to people, okay, well, I have to work it out. Just give me a day's. No, 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 no. They don't want to know any of that. Now, I know you know this, but I'm just saying this for the whole group. They don't want to know any of the logistics that has. In fact, when you tell them things like that, they like get scared. They're like, maybe I don't really want to hire this person. And then the audition that you did, where you did not get the role, but you booked the room. Can you tell
Hmm.
us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So everything is auditioning still, like, Skype, Zoom, self tapes, and so there's a local feature, and the casting director. I auditioned for the producer and the casting director, and it was just for a day player role.
Mm-hmm.
But I did the read, and they were like, "Oh, really good. Thanks. We'll get back with you, whatever." And then I didn't hear anything. And so the same casting director put up another posting,
Uh-huh.
same production company, doing a second feature, because the producer's actually out of Vegas. And so I guess their idea was, since he was going to be in town, they might as well get as much in as they could. So they decided to do a second feature here. And so I applied for that. And as soon as I submitted, the casting director, I would swear within a half an hour of me submitting, she called me, and she was like, "Oh, I remember you from the previous audition." And she actually told me, I mean, you guys, I'm 33. But she told me the role I was going for was in like a 21-year-old. And she's like, "We loved your audition. We loved your read." She's like, "You just did not look 21."
Yeah.
And that's like a new thing for me, like being in my, like transitioning into my 30s. Like, can I still pass for my 20s? I hope so. But anyway, so she's like, "But yeah, this role, that the character's a little older. So, she's like, so let's set up an audition for you." So I did. And then because it was a Skype audition, you know how like sometimes video and audio takes a little bit to
Mm-hmm.
connect.
Mm-hmm.
My audio connected first before my video popped on, and I overheard her saying to the producer, as I was logging in, "Okay, next up is Allison. She's the one you really liked for that last movie." And then like the video popped on, and she was like, "Oh, hi." And so that was a nice thing to hear right before I auditioned.
That
And
is. It's so awesome. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
And then the audition was a little, and because I had already auditioned for them before, they
Mm-hmm.
were a lot more conversational, and it was,
Yeah, they
it's
know
less
you.
stressful. So then
Mm.
I felt freer, in my acting, and so then I
Yeah.
ended up booking it, and it was actually the lead in this film. So I went from not booking the day player role in the original film to booking a lead in this feature. So I think that was worth it.
And you said in your email that you're feeling a lot more confident from doing this program. Can you talk about this? Because you said actually that's helped you in this audition. I think that's what you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. Well, just being on more sets. So, like I said,
Mm-hmm.
my background is more theater. So,
Mm-hmm.
my experience just being on film sets was not as much. I had done few and far between, but not enough to really feel like I was nailing it, but just being crew, you're relaxed. You're not on camera, so you don't have to worry about the character or your lines or whatever. So you just kind of experience more and soak in more, and just feel how it runs. And so that informs me now when I'm acting. I'm like, I don't have to worry about this or that, because I know these people are taking care of it, or this is what they're looking for. Especially doing like assisting on camera work, that helped me as an actor. For my brain, the way my brain works is I needed to see what the lens was seeing, what the monitor was seeing,
Yeah.
to inform me how big to be or small to be,
Yeah.
for what they're shooting, when I'm on camera.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that helped there.
It just fills in all of these areas because when don't you think that we all have our experiences that we have, okay? And if we don't change them or expand, that's the way that it is. And we only have the resources that we have in that case. What we're doing with this program is we're expanding what we're seeing, who we're meeting, all of our conversations, what we're exposed to, our resume, our website, what we can do. Just in the most valuable part really is being on set and seeing, okay, this is how it all fits together. This is what is happening here. It's not like, oh my god, I got this one shot at the role and I need to get this. Either way, you're going to be working on set, behind the scenes. You got an MTV, you got other instances. You're working with big people. You're getting your name out there, and you're just like relax. You're just like, my
Yeah.
life is just freaking exciting.
It took the stress out of it, honestly, because go figure, there was last week when I ended up working with Chris, I had auditioned for something, a logo commercial, and I didn't get it. And so I was like, that would have been really great to be working this week. And then the universe turned around and handed me this Chris Gearhart gig. And so I was like, okay, this might be better. Maybe this will lead to something, that's more for me than being on the commercial would have. So, and then I saw Michael in the chat says you booked the room but not the audition. It was frustrating, um, especially being told you look too old for something. No one wants to hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but um, but in the end, booking the room benefited me because I got a lead role
Oh.
in a feature instead of the day player, and and Janet, you know Bonnie Gillespie says book the
Yeah.
room, right? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's something too, because you might not be right for the role they're casting,
Yeah.
but you might be right for their something down the line, even if it's
Yeah.
a few years away. They'll be like, oh, that girl from that audition, this is her, and then they'll call you for that.